Assalamualaikum and Salam Ramadan to Dr. Mawani and all my fellow friends. So today, my group will be presenting about the topic of leisure and education. First thing first, let's go to the definition of education as leisure. Education as leisure is about providing information about leisure in the education system. As an educator, we need to apply leisure in our teaching method. Actually, education as leisure are viewed in the two main ways. The first point is the process of teaching knowledge and skill in a number of activities. This means that if you want to teach someone about knowledge or skill, we need to teach him or her from the basic skill. For example, if we want to teach someone about football, we need to teach him or her from the basic skills such as passing, kicking, or control the ball. After that, the second way is the process of educating people about the importance of leisure by providing opportunities for participation. Just like I mentioned just now, after we teach him or her about the basic skills, then we can do a friendly match to know about their development of skills. Next, there are 4 components of leisure as education. The first component is leisure awareness. Leisure awareness is focusing on helping an individual to understand the concept of leisure. The second component is social skill. Social skill is focusing on the skill to interact with the other people. The third component is leisure skill, which is include 2 types of skill, which is those that are required to participate in a specific opportunity, such as playing badminton, and more indirect skills such as decision making, planning, and problem solving. And the last component is leisure resources, which is include the people, places, and equipment. For example, a person learn about a computer to find out about an activity. Okay, now we go to the barrier for education as leisure. There are 2 types of barrier, which is intrinsic barrier and environmental barrier. For the intrinsic barrier consists of 4, which is lack of knowledge of leisure. For example, a person do not really know about the concept of leisure itself. Second point is health problems. When someone who have problem with their health condition, they mostly tend to do nothing and refuse to do fun activity. Next point is skill or challenge gap. It means that if someone who feel insecure or lack of confidence, he or she might not be able to do anything beyond their limit, even though they are not trying it yet. Lastly, social interaction problems. People with this problem will not participate themselves with the other people because they think they are feeling better when they do all the activity by themselves. In other words, they are not a friendly person. Okay, now we proceed to the environmental barrier, which is consists of transportation, economical, and rules and regulation. Okay, for example, I want to go to the England by this week. It was impossible for me to go there by using a car. So I need to book an aeroplane as my transportation. Then I will book for the flight ticket and it will cost me a huge money. So it was my economical. Then if I want to go to the England during the restriction movement order, I was not able to do so because the government had not allowed everyone to go out from this country. Okay, that's all from me. I'll pass to AZMINA. Thank you.
I will proceed with the benefit of education as leisure. They are consist of 6 basic benefits, which is increasing in social skill, decreasing anxiety and depression, which is in health problem, encourage cooperation with other disciplines, allowing experience to improve relationship, building resources to help achieve a positive leisure lifestyle, and last one is to help them adjust and adapt to the limitation initially imposed by their own disability and or weaknesses. So, the outcome of good benefit education as leisure will affect the individual itself from their own value, and it is something important in their current and future lifestyle, which when they have leisure activity as a part in their life, they will enhance the quality of better life. At the same time, their physical, emotions, health and environmental also will change, and their lifestyle will be more fun and exciting with a lot of leisure activity. So when they do the activity, a lot of people required and involved, like their family, friends, and at the same time they also can build a new relationship in the society. Next is two components of education as leisure. Okay. The first one is leisure skill, or in other words we call leisure activity skill. Okay. Learning leisure skill will enhance your child's ability to decide, plan and initiate a leisure lifestyle that is personal and have meaningful to him or her. There consists of 3 skill, which is direct skill, indirect skill, and the last one is require both skill. So for direct skill, it require to participate in specific opportunity. It involve lifespan process, which the individual will use the benefit for their own physical, emotional, society and intellectual development. For example, like playing a sport like badminton, tennis and so on. Next is indirect skill. This skill consists of decision making, planning and problem solving. It's more to involve other people than themselves. Last one is require both skill. This skill refer to as traditional and non-traditional. It means it's to participate in a variety of leisure pursuit. It involve both, like their self, the pupils, places and also equipment. The second component is social skill, or other word is social interaction skill. Those are needed to interact with other people or involve with other. They mostly often crucial for inclusion in leisure opportunities. There is 3 skills that they need, which is communication skill, relationship building and also self-presentation. Okay, what is communication skill? Communication skill consists of assertiveness, conversation skills, how to seek information, and also how to express feeling. What we call is more like soft skills. The second one is relationship building. Relationship building consists of friendship development, cooperation and competition. The last one is develop social network. It's more to when someone involve themselves in other in the society. Last one is self-presentation. Self-presentation consists of 4, which is politeness, ethica, hygiene and grooming. Most of the parents believe that when their child all the skills, other people will easily attract to their child and want to be their friends, because most of the people will befriend or will attracted to the people who is politeness, have ethica, taking care of their hygiene and so on. That's why the parents is put the skill highest for their child.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Next, I will present two components, education as leisure, which is leisure awareness and leisure resources. Firstly, for leisure awareness, we have 4 points, which is knowledge of leisure, self-awareness, leisure and play attitudes, and related participatory and decision-making skills. For the first points, which is knowledge of leisure, participants have to know the benefits and the barriers they have to face during leisure activity. They also have to differentiate between leisure and other behaviors like work, as we all know that we can meet a new people when we participate during leisure activity. We also can gain new experience from the leisure activity. From knowledge of leisure, we can learn concept of leisure lifestyle and to balance between leisure, work and other obligations. Next, for the second point, which is self-awareness. Self-awareness reflect on past participation, such as identify factors that encourage participations and causes to decline to participate. From this, participants that participate during leisure activity have to know the factors that encourage them and make them to participate in leisure activity. Understand skills, examine values and attitudes, and determine satisfaction when participate in leisure activity. For the third point, which is leisure and play attitudes, origins of belief about leisure and relationship between attitudes and behavior. From this, our behavior during leisure activity can influence our current lifestyle. Appropriateness of former leisure attitudes and with current lifestyle. With a good of disciplines and attitudes during leisure activity can influence our leisure lifestyles or our daily life activity. For the last point, which is related participatory and decision making skills. Reducing and managing stress through planning and decision making. Development of a sense of self-determination related to leisure involvement. From this, we can manage our stress through our decision making or problem solving. From related participatory, we have ability to identify goals and to solve problems. Next, we move to the leisure resources. Leisure resources may include teaching how to use telephone book or computer to find about an activity. For the first leisure resources, which is activity opportunities. Understanding wide range of leisure opportunities to choose from, identify preferences. For the second point of leisure resources, which is community resources. As an example, which is park and recreation, fitness centers, and lastly, arts and craft stores. From this, we can use these community resources to explore more in leisure activity. The third one is state and national resources, which is information that we can get about travel and information about transportation. Next, personal resources. Personal resources, which is use printed materials like newspapers or phone books or using internet that we have. And lastly, family and home resources, which is we can learn from our family members new skills and get knowledge and experience from our family members. And also money and material goods that we can use at home.
Now, I want to explain about the definition of lifelong learning and lifelong education. Lifelong learning is a form of self-initiated education that is focused on personal development. Most learning throughout human lives arise outside of them and their contributions.
The resources must be mobilized to promote and support individuals' lifelong learning. Lifelong learning occurs individuals think and act, educational programs and institutions. Lifelong education, as knowledge is shared more widely around the world, that need to constantly stay updated on new information. It allows to build up greater skills and acquire more knowledge. The motives for doing that are various, such as a desire for career advancement, mastering a hobby, or learning a new knowledge. Resources can always be found to gain more knowledge and develop skills fast and cheap. Now we move to differing concepts of lifelong learning and lifelong education. First, the concept is outcomes. For lifelong learning, is applied learning and development. Lifelong learning is the process of experiencing lead to change in what individuals know, can do, and value through a process of moment by moment in their life. For example, ontogenetic development can be conceptualized as the portion of physical, cognitive, emotional, and social development. For lifelong education, it applies social continuity and change. The kinds of outcomes that arise from lifelong education is the provision of experience about continuity or change in norms, forms, and practices comprising workplace activities, including intended change in individuals. The second concept is antecedents. For lifelong learning, it uses individual knowing and knowledge. This is what they know they can do and the value. For example, their knowledge. It often captures as their readiness to engage in particular kinds of learning. These antecedent conditions are person-dependent, as based on personal experience and circumstance. For lifelong education, it uses social institutions, practices, norms, and forms. They comprise norms, social forms, and practices that are the premise for what is afforded to learners. For educational provisions, this can include the physical resources, kinds of equipment, ability to access practice, and the capacities and interests for those who are teaching and guiding the learning. The third point is mediational means. For lifelong learning, is knowing what individuals know, can do, and value. For example, they make sense and respond to what they experience is personally shaped. It also includes how the individuals elect to use their capacity, shaped by the direction, intensity, and intentionality of their thinking and acting. For lifelong education, is projection of social work. The mediational means of social institutions and social norms such as educational programs is found in their social suggestions. These stand as tools through which thinking, acting, and decision-making occur. The ability of the social work to project its suggestions through such tools is the basis of its continuity. It is accepted by most theorists, including those who emphasize the social contributions to knowing and learning. Now, I will pass to Afiq. He will continue the next points.
So the next one is the foundational category. So foundational category are divided by two parts, which is personal factors and goals, institutional social factors and goals. So for the personal factors and goals, it is explained how and what individuals experience, which in turn change what they know, can do, and value. For instance, if individuals' knowledge is confirmed by their knowledge, leads to reinforcement and refinement, but dissonance between their knowledge and what their experience leads to the formations of new learning and knowledge. So the second point of foundational category is institutional social factors and goals. It is form of intentional program experience offered by an educational institution, workplace, and other institutions. It is people who learn sometimes by participating in intentionally organized experience, for example, in lifelong education. So that learning requires having human consciousness, knowledge, ways of knowing, and engaging with experience arising beyond the person's and ability to mediate those experience. So the second point is enactments. Enactments are the means by which something progresses or is implemented. Enactments are divided by two parts, which is process of experiencing and provision of experience. So for the process of experiencing, the first point is engagement on what they experience, which leads them to change as experience and categorize, proposition enacted, procedures enacted, enhanced or contested, and values appraised. The second point is this learning continuously occurs through individuals' processes of experiencing and change, which is referred to as microgenetic development. So what is microgenetic development? And it is referred to the from time to times of development in our life. So for the second point is the provision of experience within curriculum theorizing. Experience afforded by educational programs and institutions or any other social institutions, shaped by facilities available, the physical and social setting, the interests, the capacities, and preference of those who organize those experiences. So the next point is the manifestation of paid work. It is a key distinction in relations to the learning for work and working life is that between vocation and occupations. So for the vocation, it is something people do. It is strong feeling of sustainability for a career or occupations. It is a personal facts to which individuals must consent. They are what guides and direct their actions and relations with others. Okay, so for the occupations, it is a job or professions rise through history, culture, and situations, and it is often for individuals to come to engage in their occupation as their vocations. So for the next slides, you can see that there are three main barriers to adult participation. So the first barrier is the situational. It is those that arise from one situations or environments at a given point. And the second point is institutional, those practices and procedure that excludes or discourage adult from participating in organized learning activities. And the last point is dispositional. It is related to the attitudes and self-perception about oneself as a learner. So for the last barrier, it is include in economic, personal, social, foundational, technological, access and motivational barriers. For example, poor family culture of learning, low aspirations, low self-esteem, bad childhood experience of learning, which is in a mental barriers. So the second point is a lack of finance to participate and lack of study facilities at home. It is under financial barriers. And the third point is distance to educational provisions for many students. It is under for access barrier. And the last point is learning providers who supply information which is inadequate in attracting people to learning and fail to ensure that people have access to good quality service or advice about learning opportunities throughout their life. It is under information barriers. So that's all from us. Thank you.